Project 613, day 14, and we have 14 mitzvahs for today, all connected to idolatry. Okay, today yesterday we learned about someone who incites a group of people, an entire city. That's a prohibition. But there's another prohibition to incite one specific individual to serve idols. In fact, inciting others to serve idols is so terrible. It is one of the gravest sins that a Jew can do, that the Torah is very specific about the attitude that one should have to someone who tries to incite him or her to idol worship. We're not allowed to love the inciter, even though there's a mitzvah, v'ahavta l'reacha kamecha, you should love your fellow as yourself. This mitzvah is suspended with regard to someone who tried to incite you to serve idols. In fact, not only are you not allowed to love them, there's another specific prohibition that we are not allowed to not hate them. You must hate them, and you cannot dampen that hatred for the inciter. Another specific prohibition, one may not have pity on the inciter. If they see the inciter is in a bad situation, perhaps even their life is threatened, turn away. They try to incite you to serve idols, to turn away from God. Let's say this person who incited one to serve idols was being brought to court. The one who was incited may not spare the inciter, should not try to vindicate the one who is inciting them against God. They may not conceal evidence against the inciter. That's another specific prohibition. Now let's talk a little bit about prophecy. We know that there's such a thing as a true prophet, a prophet of God. But then there are those that come and claim that they are prophets of a specific idol, that this heathen belief communicated a certain message to him or to her, and they are coming to deliver a message from this idol. This is a specific prohibition. One is not allowed to do that. Then there's also a specific prohibition that we are not allowed to listen to one who claims to be communicating a prophecy in the name of an idol. Once we're talking about false prophets, let's talk about a false prophet who claims to be coming in the name of God. One is not allowed to communicate a false prophecy. If you're a prophet, you'll know it. If you're not a prophet, keep your mouth shut. Don't claim to have a prophecy. And if someone tries to come and communicate a false prophecy, and it is clear that it is a false prophecy, there are consequences that are meted out to this false prophet. But perhaps this false prophet is someone who's very venerable, very respectable, and in fact someone who people are scared of. We are not allowed to be frightened or intimidated by this false prophet. Going back to idolatry, one is not allowed to swear in the name of false gods. And then finally, there are three types of idolatrous behaviors that the Torah specifically calls out by name. Ov. People would do specific incense, and they would do certain processes, and as a result, they would convince themselves that they were hearing voices coming from their armpit. Sounds silly, sounds crazy, but the Torah is very specific that one is not allowed to engage in that specific process. Another is Yidoini. They would take a bone of a certain type of bird and put it in their mouth, and they would offer incense, and they would hear voices coming from that bone. And finally, the prohibition of engaging in the worship of Molech. Molech is a certain type of idol. The way they would serve it is that they would build two bonfires, and a father or a grandfather, a parent or a grandparent, would take their children and give them over to the priests of Molech, and the priests would walk the child in between these two fires. They wouldn't burn the child, they would just walk them, pass them through between these two fires. This was an idolatrous practice which was quite prevalent in biblical times, and the Torah specifically prohibits that practice.